Hi, Steve.
Eric, I can't see you.
You can't see me. Wait a minute. Why not? Oh, you're right.
At the bottom, yeah, you know what you're doing.
Here I am.
Yeah, it took us a while to learn this Zoom thing. Steve is an expert now. Yeah. Hold on, Rick. I'm just putting the final touches on my I'm the production crew here. I gotta tape everything, so we have to set the lighting right. So, have you ever seen Steven's interviews? How it works?
Take your time.
He likes to do it on Facebook Live. So you're live on Facebook, but he's gonna try to record it tonight, and that way I don't have to record anymore. He likes to ask, basic questions to get you started, and then he'll go from there, and you just start answering.
Okay.
All right, you ready? So what do I do here?
Yeah,
This button?
I'm looking for a good seat because let's try this seat right here. Hold on. All right, how's that? Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Oh, good. Good. All right, I'm ready when you are, Steven, I think.
All right. Here we are for another episode of Talking Sports with the Legend. Tonight's guest is Rick. I can't think. Leonetti. Rick Leonetti. I'm sorry, Rick. Let me start over. Hold on. Get back to this live thing. Hold on, Steve. Get off of this live. Get off of this live. Hurry up. I forgot to close the door.
Take your time.
Oh, God. Got it? Start over, Steve. Sorry, Rick.
Don't worry about it.
Literally just walked in the door from work. All right. Here we are with Talking Sports with the Legend. Tonight's guest is Rick Leonetti. Rick is going to tell us all about his organization and some other things that Steven's going to ask him. So fire away, Stevie boy. What happened, Steve? Don't worry about that.
Where were you born?
Where were you born? And where did you go?
I was born in Philadelphia. Actually, the hospital was St. Agnes Hospital in South Philadelphia.
Where did you go to school?
Well, then we moved from South Philly to Northeast Philly, and I went my first kindergarten. I went to James Hampton Moore, and then I went to grade school at Resurrection of Our Lord, and then Father Judge High School. You want more?
Yes, college.
Okay, then Philadelphia Community College for 2 years, but I didn't finish. I went into respiratory school after that and worked at Einstein for 10 years in respiratory therapy. And then I went back to school in my 50s to earn my degree at Penn State Abington.
And what's your degree in, Rick?
History.
And what do you do for a full-time job?
Athletes helping athletes.
And so you were retired from your other line of work?
Yeah, after I went into medical sales after 10 years at Einstein, and I worked for several different respiratory anesthesia type companies.
Hello?
To finish my degree.
There we go.
Go ahead.
No, you were blipping in and out. We missed some of that. Hold on, Stevie. I think he froze. Rick? Uh-oh. There you go. Rick, you there? Uh-oh. Blipping in and out, Stevie boy.
Yeah, I'm going to walk.
There you go, Rick.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Much better.
All right.
What are you doing here, Stevie? Okay. Sorry. So you left off you were working at some hospitals, and then you retired from that, and now full-time. You can tell everybody about the AHA. What's he right there?
What made you start AHA?
Steve. Hold
on.
Hold on, Rick. You're blipping in and out again.
High school basketball. And yeah, I think it's me.
There you
So you're good now?
Now we're good. Start from the beginning. Stephen asked, what made you start the AHA?
Well, long story short, Council Rock was splitting into two. It was going to be Council Rock North and Council Rock South. And all the booster parents had gone to Council Rock South. So the coach held a meeting for Council Rock North where our youngest son, Brian, was a senior football player and a co-captain. And he sent a letter home to 12 players' families asking both parents to show up at a meeting for the booster club. And my wife went a little later than I did. I got there first, and he needed a president, a vice president, a treasurer, and a secretary. Long story short, I got roped into being president of the booster club. And I said, we'll do this, but we're not going to raise money and give gifts back to our kids, the football players and cheerleaders who got all sorts of gifts from the booster club. I said, we're going to raise money for a charity. So my first charity choice was the Cancer Wing at Children's Hospital. And everybody clapped and said, that's a great idea. But someone raised their hand and said, well, do you know that Coach Ortman is a special ed teacher and he does a lot with Special Olympics of Bucks County? So we voted, and that's what we decided that we were going to raise money for. So that year we had football camp for Council Rock North and cheerleader camp in August. And we invited some kids to come up, boys with the football team, girls with the cheerleaders. And they spent the entire week with the teams, had lunch with them. The players and the kids got along great. They had a lot of fun. And it just was a really nice thing that we did. Then we started saying, why don't we have kids as honorary captains at games? And I know Steve is one of our best honorary captains. So we started doing that, and we decided to have a golf outing to raise money for Special Olympics in Bucks County. Another long story short, I'm not a golfer, and I don't know how to run a golf outing. So we only had like $3,000 and maybe 20 golf. Yeah. And I said at the meeting, listen, instead of, because we were raising the money, we're going to split half between the booster club and half going to Special Olympics in Bucks County. I said, this is kind of pitiful. Why don't we just, whatever money we raise, we'll give to Special Olympics of Bucks County. Do you know how much we gave them a check at our banquet? $27,000.
Wow.
So we had a good last week, I guess. So we had all that money come in, and we invited the Special Olympics folks who run it and some of the kids and their families to the football banquet. And we brought them up on stage and presented them with the big check, and the treasurer almost fainted. She never saw that amount of money being donated to.
Uh-oh.
Of course, our son Brian graduated. What's that?
I said you blipped out again.
Oh boy. How about now?
After the $27,000 check, and then I think you said your son graduated.
Say that one more time.
You said it. We heard the part. You said you gave them the check, and then you said your son graduated the next year.
Yeah, well, he graduated. After football season that spring, he graduated. So I thought that was it, one and done. But the coach called me during the summer and said, "Listen, I know you can't run the booster club anymore, but I really like that AHA thing. Our players got a lot out of that." So he said, "Would you run it again?" So we did. And here we are, almost, we just started our 19th season.
Wow.
And from one high school football team and cheerleading squad, we now have, close to 30 high schools and 14 universities involved.
That's awesome.
And thousands over the years of volunteers. And, Steve, the reason we're in colleges now is because the kids loved it so much in high school that they wanted to start it in their universities also.
Cool.
That's why you see it at Holy Family. And I know because you're a big man on campus there. And that's why, Villanova, St. Joe, Temple, Drexel, LaSalle, Penn State. You know, a lot of big schools are involved with us, and it's been really a lot of fun.
I took Steven the one year to Temple, and
I remember.
Steven is going in to register, and who do we see there but a girl that was one of his buddies at Cardinal Doherty?
No, St. David's.
St. David's. Oh my God, St. David's School, which is where Steven went from. Well, he only went for like 4 years because he got moved into the transition. But long story short, this girl was in grade school, and when Steven was like 11 or 12. So fast forward to 2 years ago, and here, as soon as she saw Steven remembered her, and she remembered him, and oh my God, it was so funny. Next thing you know, the next thing you know, I messed up. He's talking to her, and oh my God, Rick, it was so much fun. And I said to Steven, I said, this is why this organization's great, because these kids go from high school where they meet these kids, and a lot of them now have brothers and sisters that have special needs or nephews and nieces. And it's amazing, you know, it really is.
Yep. I remember the football game. We got down on the field, didn't we, Steve?
Yes, yeah, that was the Temple football game. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That was awesome. And I tell everybody about it. And I tell everybody, you want to donate money, AHA is what you look for. I said, just go to Facebook, and it's the best organization. I said, the kids get the most out of it. I said, the volunteers love it. The kids in school love it. They're all upset because he's been interviewing a couple of them. And upset because they don't have, you know, fall sports. And I said, look, we'll get through it. You know, we did it for spring. We'll do it for fall, and we'll all get through it. But they miss Steven, so he gets a chance to see a lot of them now.
Yeah, well, we miss Steve too, and that's why we're glad he has a YouTube channel.
Rick,
Place.
you're blipping out again. I'm sorry. You said you're glad about Steven having YouTube, and then what'd you say?
Yeah, Steven has the YouTube going. He has the Instagram, Facebook. I mean, he's all over the place.
Ask him your questions. All right, back to Steven's questions.
Did you ever coach?
Okay.
Did you ever coach?
Did you ever coach any teams, Rick?
Yes, I coached high school.
I'm sorry.
I coached high school baseball at Bishop McDevitt.
Wow.
Can
What
you-
years was that, Rick?
Yeah,
You're blipping out again.
1982 to 1986.
Oh, how about that? I graduated high school in '81. I went to North Catholic, but didn't play baseball. I played soccer.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And I did assistant at North Catholic 1 year after I stopped.
Get out.
I coached with Larry Connie.
Larry
for a
Connie.
year.
Oh, I know Mr. Connie very well. Yeah, I still call him Mr. Connie.
That's right. And then after that, Steve.
Uh-oh. Blipped out again.
Years.
Blipped out. I'm sorry.
After baseball, I coached 14 years at Cardinal Doherty for boys basketball.
Oh. Get out of here.
Before Mr. Heimendinger then?
Oh yeah.
So you were with it? You were before Mr. Heimendinger?
No, with
Him. Oh, get out of here. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, 14 years.
Get out. So Steven was helped out the girls' JV team.
Yeah.
He used to help out. April Tadley was the coach. And
Okay, yeah, I did.
Once in a while with the varsity with Miss Martin. I mean Miss McDonald.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my last year of coaching, so I stopped coaching the boys in 2000. So I was with them from 86.
Oh, Rick, you blipped out again on us. Sorry.
2010. I said in 2009 and 2010, I helped Mary McDonald at Cardinal Doherty in the last season of Cardinal Doherty girls basketball.
Yes, I remember the last season well, unfortunately.
So,
Go ahead, Steve.
so did you got to coach Katina Mobley?
Yep. Katina was on our team, and I still keep in touch with them.
How about that?
Yeah.
Steven's cousin was a cheerleader that year. She graduated with Mobley, I think,
No,
or a
she
year
was
after.
2 years.
2 years behind.
Yeah.
She was born. She was born in '77.
What's her name?
Amy Hess. She
What
was
is it?
Amy Hess. She went to St. Cecilia's.
I
Fox.
probably would know her to see. I don't know her by name.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, Rick.
I don't remember yesterday.
Did you ever go? What?
Two.
Who did you look up to as a child?
Well, my dad. I'll have to say my father. John Leonetti was a milkman, but he was also he delivered milk to Joe Frazier.
Get out.
He also delivered milk to Sister Sledge. But he worked really hard with 5 children. My parents had 5 children, I should say. And he worked very hard. And on weekends to make up money.
I'm sorry, weekends, what? You blipped out at the weekends.
Yeah, on weekends he would work extra jobs. He was an electrician. He was a mechanic. He would paint houses. He would put, if you remember, TV antennas up on the rooftops.
Yes.
So he was always doing odd jobs and always helping people too. He would, after he retired, he would take a bus every Monday with his best friend down to Atlantic City to play the slots. And on the bus was a gentleman who was blind. And my dad used to take him by the arm and take him around everywhere when they were in Atlantic City. But on weekends, my dad would shop for him so that, food shop and things like that.
That's a great person. That's a great person to look up to. And that's why I guess you turned out the way you did.
I hope if I could be half the man he was just incredible. Family first with him.
Absolutely.
He sacrificed his whole life for the family.
What sports did you play as a kid?
Well, I shouldn't say all of them because there's a lot more now than there is when I was growing up. But I love baseball. I love basketball. I love football. And then the Flyers came along in '67 and I played street hockey, but I couldn't skate to save my life. But yeah, I liked all the sports, Steve.
Do you have a favorite? Or do any of your former players keep in touch with you?
A lot of them. And actually, we have a home here in Ocean City, and in our back driveway behind our house is my third baseman from 1982 and 1983. And actually, he played football at Bishop McDevitt also, and he went to Delaware on a scholarship, and his quarterback was Rich Gannon.
How about that? How about that, Steve?
I have a lot of players that I keep in touch with, Steve, and that I've been invited. My wife and I have been invited to their weddings, and we look forward to seeing them when this whole COVID thing is over.
What does this one say?
And the last question is just for fun. If you could have dinner for any athletes, dead or alive, for 3 athletes, who would they be?
Wait, so I heard
Has to be, to have dinner with 3 athletes, dead or alive, and he wants you to who would you invite to dinner?
3 athletes. Okay, I'm going to say Jackie Robinson, number 1, because of everything he went through, and he was a gentleman about it. That's one. I loved Mickey Mantle. I thought Mickey Mantle was a tremendous. And the third one, there's so many I would like to pick. And you notice I've been picking baseball because I remember my dad took me to my first game in 1963, I think it was, and Connie Mack Stadium and the grass and all that stuff. It was just awesome. So let me think of a third one. Johnny Cowson.
Johnny Cowson. Steven doesn't remember him. He was the MVP of the 1963 All-Star game. He was
64.
64, sorry. I was
Yeah.
born in 63. That's what I was going to tell you. I didn't want to make you feel old, Rick. That was the year I was born. But this guy, Johnny Cowson, was a great, he played right field, right?
Yeah, right field.
Yeah.
Number 6. There's so many others, that I'm thinking, like Roberto Clemente. And
that was one of my favorites. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to see him play, but I used to read a lot about baseball. Baseball was one of my favorite sports as a kid, but once I got to high school, I kind of stopped playing because I concentrated on soccer. I knew I had a chance to get a scholarship in soccer. And baseball, I was a little guy, so I was a slap hitter, and I could steal, and I had a good glove, but I was afraid, and I think I would not have made the team because at North Catholic, if you didn't have some kind of affiliation, and I played at Lighthouse Field, which we didn't play away games. We only played a house league.
Yeah.
Crazy, But Steven, he loves baseball too, and we used to go to the games all the time when he was a kid. I used to take him and my other 2 kids with me, give my wife a break. So I would do that like once a year, to Mother's Day games, and he loves baseball. He loves still to this day watching it and going. And
yeah, we actually met a couple of players.
yes, this year we went down to the
No, Andy Wolf.
not Randy Wolf.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh
Yeah.
God, he's talking back when Randy Wolf used to play. Listen, I took him after the game for autographs, and we waited around. And Randy Wolf was the nicest guy in the world.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
think you were telling Rick about this.
No,
This year we went down to spring training right before the COVID hit.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes, and we got pictures with guys, and I met and Andrew Knapp last year at my office. I register cars for people. I did it again, Steve. I register cars for people, and I met him, and then at the spring training, I seen him coming over in our direction, so I hollered over to him, and he remembered me right away, and I told him about Steven that day, so I introduced him to Steven. It was really cool, really cool.
Oh, you know what?
another guy, Kendall Simmons.
Yeah, Steven gets a guy, he asked for an autograph, and the guy was all excited. So he said to my wife, he said, could you send me a picture of that? And my wife says, yeah, I need your cell phone. He goes, here, I'll give it to you. And she says, boy, you're giving me your cell phone? And I start laughing. I say to my wife, I said, kid, you're old enough to be his grandmom. So I said, how old are you? And he was 20 years old, right?
23.
23? And his name was Kendall Simmons, but, he didn't make the team. He was just in the spring training.
But that was so nice of him, wasn't it?
We made his day. That was the kid was so excited. My wife, Kit, sent him pictures of him and Steven together, and then he loved it.
Yeah, well, athletes like that deserve. I mean, they're the ones I cheer for the most.
Exactly.
Because when they do things like that, they deserve the best that life has to give them.
Yep. Because I tell him all the time, I said, these guys get paid tremendous amounts of money. I said, back when they didn't, those guys were nicer to the fans than they are nowadays, and it should be the complete opposite.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, you want to hear something funny?
What?
Back in the 60s, when a player they only had 1-year contracts. So if a Phillies player had a bad year, he would get less money the next year. So it always paid to have a good year. Now you have guaranteed contracts for 13 years. It doesn't matter how you play. So it always gave them the incentive to play better each year. And that's another thing I admire about those guys, because a lot of them had second jobs.
They had to have a second job. I told them that one before. I said they had to sell insurance or do something on the off season just to make, a living. It's a shame.
Here's a story for you. Johnny Cowson lived in Glenside. He was a used car salesman in the off season. And this one year, he needed his television fixed. My brother, who worked for an outfit that fixed TVs, went to his house, fixed his TV, and Johnny Cowson didn't have the money to pay him right away.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And another tidbit, Steve, my wife used to babysit his kids.
Yeah.
But I never met him.
That's
But he was my favorite player growing up.
Oh, you never got a chance to meet him.
No. But I have an autographed baseball picture from him.
Oh, there you go.
Well, Rick, it was a wonderful
So
interview.
that makes
Talking to you, and I learned so much about you, even though I've known you for so many years. So I hope all Stephen's followers heard me. I'm going to say it one more time. AHA. Okay, please donate. They could use the money, and it's the greatest cause I've ever been involved with or in at all. So
Well,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much, Rick.
All
Oh,
right.
you're welcome. And one last thing, October 4th is our golf outing. So maybe
Yes, I definitely want to attend. Stephen told me about it, and Steve Milligan, I told him last year I
Oh,
wanted to go, so I'm going to get in contact with him and tell him I definitely want to attend.
awesome.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much, buddy.
What do you want to say, Steve?
Is Penn State Abington in the AHA?
Say that again.
Is Penn State Abington where you graduated from? Are they in?
No, it's funny. They were a couple times, but the students back then, it was a 2-year school, and they would go up to the main campus, and we would lose those kids. So right now, no, we're not. But 3 years ago, we were. We had a couple kids.
Wait, so you tell them the good news.
One of my best friends just got the head coaching job for the men's soccer team.
Awesome. Well, then
And he
we'll have to
loves
talk about
Stephen. He
Yeah.
used to invite. He was an assistant coach at St. Joe's.
And he played for the Kicks.
Yeah, he played professionally for the Kicks.
Mhm.
that.
And
Awesome.
he used to invite Stephen out like 1 or 2 times a year for St. Joe's practices. We went to an alumni game, so
Yeah.
I know he'll be interested. So
Yeah.
we'll tell him to reach out to
Yeah.
you.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you very
Thank
much,
you, Rick.
Rick, for spending
Thank
time
you,
with us.
guys. Really
Appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
Thank you. Bye
Take
bye.
care.
Bye.
That was the best one ever, huh, Steve? Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.